Hello everyone! Today we are looking at the Kringle by the Boston Scally Company. Let's get to it! Here it is. This is the Kringle by Boston Scally Company. This is an 8-panel Christmas plaid, green, crimson, and olive herringbone patchwork wool blend cap. The Kringle 8-panel patchwork scally cap with its crimson, green and Christmas plaid, and herringbone panels contrasted with the green brim underneath ties it all together. Underneath is our collector's edition logo of the Kringle himself. Here is the cap in hand. This is the Kringle by the Boston Scally Company, and this is, as far as I can tell, this is a fan favorite. This cap is really pretty. It's got a lot of different colors, as you can see here. The crimson, the olive green here. I believe this is what Boston Scally is describing as the Christmas plaid, as they say. And then, of course, here you have the green herringbone. And I've said in a couple of past reviews that I'm not always the biggest fan of herringbone, particularly the black and the gray herringbone. It's just not really my thing, but I do like the herringbone on this. I think it's a really pretty way to do the herringbone. It looks really nice on this cap, and I'm going to pause here for just a moment and digress a bit. This was my last chance with this cap to get the Christmas coal, the coveted Christmas coal, I think. If you've been following Boston Scally, you know what cap I'm talking about. The first 12 days of Christmas, they put it randomly in 500 orders. So a lot of people out there are just getting this cap by chance. The reviewers on YouTube that I watch, I haven't seen anyone get this cap yet. I'm not among them either. So I did not get this cap, but oh my goodness, I looked at this today and I knew the prices would be high on this on eBay for this, but take a look at this. Whoa, I had no idea that it would be this astronomical. The buy it now price is, of course, insane, but even the bids, my goodness, I just cannot believe people are willing to put out that kind of money for a cap. It's not made of gold, I don't think, but I guess if you've got the money and you want to do it, go for it. But there's been a lot of mixed, I think a consensus on this cap, reaction when they announced this cap. A lot of people were, especially people who have been buying from Boston Scally for a long time now, they were a little angered by this because they felt it was just kind of like Boston Scally was ignoring their fan base, their loyal customers who had been their customers for such a long time. And they were kind of just saying, well, it's more or less up to chance if you get this cap because they're not selling it directly. This was the only way to get the Christmas coal. I know a lot of people from what I've seen on the social media comments, they would have really liked to have had this cap. I would have probably bought this cap. I'm absolutely not paying the eBay prices for it. Absolutely no way. But I think a little people were angered by this decision. But you know what? Like it or hate it, you've got to give it to Boston Scally. When it comes to marketing and their PR department, they go above and beyond. They know what they are doing to get people to buy caps. They're a business in the end. The bottom line is what they're always going for. You just got to accept that. But still, at the same time, I think Boston Scally has great customer support. I've never had a problem with returning caps, which I've had to do a couple times. So I have no problem with that aspect of Boston Scally. And, this is the way they did it, and so be it. It just is what it is. And if I would have got one, I would have been grateful. And since I didn't, oh well. It's not that big of a deal for me because there's so many awesome holiday offerings that Boston Scally has. And I think that's maybe just my personal opinion. One reason they do offer so many holiday caps is that way if you don't get the Christmas coal, as most of us won't, you don't feel like you've been cheated. So maybe that was their intention, but you've got to get it up for their PR committee. They are on top of things. They go above and beyond, I think. So anyways, getting back to this cap, the Kringle, which is a really, really big cap among the fans. I think they really like this cap. This cap always sells out. if I'm not mistaken now, correct me if I'm wrong about this in the comments, but I think this is at least the third time this cap has been released. Now, they are saying it is sold out as of right now, but they were saying in their description that this is it. This is the last time that this cap will be sold. Now, if they actually do that, I don't know, because I don't know what it said last time it was released. I wasn't buying from Boston Scally at that point. And of course, you know, they did go to the vault and they re-released the Holiday 2, The Grinch, which I think many people also believe was just a one-time limited thing. So who knows? I'm not in the know of any of that, of course, so I have no idea. But I am so glad to get the Kringle because it is such a nice cap. I really like the way that this cap looks on the head. It is a really pretty cap. And as you can see, I did get the pen. I really like the Kringle pen. I honestly might even like the pen a little bit more than I like the cap. And with this release, they did, of course, the pen. And then they also had this sweatshirt that you see here. And it had Santa Claus, his face on the sweatshirt as well, which I thought was pretty cool. This is also sold out now. I think everything with Kringle may be sold out at this point. I think even the pen. So if you missed it again, maybe next year. So I really like the sweatshirt, but I was buying so many caps at one time that I kind of had to choose on the apparel. And I went with this. I really like, as you can see there, the Boston Scally Company with the holly. I really like this hoodie. It does have of course, the hood, a hoodie. So, and the arm, the sleeve, I'll show it here on the screen so you can get a better view of it here. But I really like the characters on the arm too. And I think that this hoodie is so cool because it can go with virtually any of Boston Scally's releases with the holiday collection. So it looks good with all of them. And on this cap, I really do. Also, you have the green brim there, and I've always said I'm a sucker for when the brim stands out with the colors that are surrounding it. And, you know, it's a decent job because you also have the herringbone green right here, so it doesn't completely stand out. It does against the crimson, so it's a nice little touch there. Not top tier or anything, but it's nice. And if I can get that straight for you, turned around. So you do have the Kringle sticker in there. I know a lot of the gentlemen don't like the stickers because it is purported to stick to bald heads. So not the silk lining that I think we're getting used to with Boston Scally Company with their newer releases. The same as the pen, the inside sticker. Nice sticker too. I mean, I like it because I just love the pen so much. And I'm just going to go ahead and say as much as I can tell that people like this cap, you may not like what I'm going to say here in this review, because I really wouldn't put this among the top of Boston Scally's holiday offering caps. When I think of a holiday cap, a Christmas cap, I think of bright colors. I just think of, you know, sparkling lights. And I don't know, maybe it's just from nostalgia from being a child. I want things to be bright and, you know, happy and colorful. And this is more of a muted cap. I think I said it in my last video when I reviewed it, but a Christmas Story cap for me is just the absolute ultimate Christmas cap. I mean, the ultimate holiday cap. I don't know if Boston Scally can ever beat that because it's exactly what I wanted in a Christmas cap. The bright green, the bright reds, and of course you had the phenomenal pin set that went along with that cap. But that's not to say that this cap is bad, because I absolutely do not think this is a bad cap by any stretch of the imagination. For me, it's just not Boston Scally among their my personal favorites, I'll say, among their holiday caps. So I will go ahead and rate this cap. I do rate from 1 to 5, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. Don't hate me, but I'm going to give this cap a 3. And that's, you know, that's not to say I don't like this cap, because I really, really do. You know, I'll liken it to something, say, you know, for whatever reason, say there was only, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Four Christmases with Reese Witherspoon and Vince Vaughn, or say maybe a Christmas movie like Christmas with the Cranks with Jamie Lee Curtis and Tim Allen. You know, for me, those are just middling Christmas movies. They're fine. I'll watch them once a year. They're fine for what they are. But let's say that those were the, you know, one of those was the only Christmas movie in existence. Then I would rate that way higher, right? That would be, whoa, this is a Christmas movie. This is what Christmas movies are, because there would be nothing to compare it to. But of course, we have far better Christmas movies. We have A Christmas Story, we have Home Alone, The Santa Claus, It's a Wonderful Life, all these Christmas classic movies. So when you put something like Four Christmases, or I don't even remember what I said, Christmas with the Cranks, you put, those movies, you stack them against top tier, classic Christmas movies, those movies aren't going to shine as much. They're not going to seem as impressive. So that's kind of what I'm getting at with this cap. If it was the only Christmas cap offering that Boston Scally had, of course I would think, it's great, because I do actually really like it. But when you do stack it against their other holiday caps, for me, it just comes up a little bit short. But I want to know what you think. If you do have the Kringle, where would you rank this hat among their holiday offerings? Is it in your number one? Is it your top three? In any of that range? For me, it's not. But like I said, I still think it's a fantastic cap, and I still am going to wear it during the Christmas season. I'm not going to just look at it and think, no way, because I do think it's a great cap. And it goes, like I said, all of these caps, these holiday caps, go really well with this hoodie. So you can't go wrong with this hoodie with any of these caps. So that is my review for the Kringle. So thank y'all so much for joining me, and I hope y'all have a great rest of your day.